Arlicia. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Good. We're so happy to see you today.
Thank you. You likewise.
Why don't we start by you telling our audience a little bit about you and who you are?
So I am Arlicia Jones. I am the broker and owner of Elite Lending Solutions. We are a mortgage company based out of Florida, and we are licensed in the state of Texas and Georgia. I am a mother of three and married to a wonderful husband. And that's it. That's it.
That's fabulous.
I have 3 kids too. It's super
Yeah.
fun.
You guys outnumber me by 1. So
Yes.
yeah. But both of you have kids at home. My youngest is 17. So this whole COVID thing has been a lot easier on me than I think it's been on you guys.
Probably.
Exactly.
No, that's perfect. Well, we're really happy to have you here. How long have you owned your brokerage?
We opened last year, April of 2019.
How exciting. What a brave move. What made you decide to do that?
Prior to me starting my mortgage company, my husband, he owns a real estate company, and we were working that business together. And so I remember we had this client who we referred to this mortgage company, who we, had done some business with before. And the client just had this really, really bad experience. And I decided that was a few years prior to, before opening the company, I actually decided to start, in the mortgage industry. And I just worked that business, as a loan officer through someone else. But I was working for a company, and I just knew that, I wanted a little bit more. I wanted to grow. I wanted to, build something that I owned, right? And so I just decided to, harness my perceived fears of whatever I thought I couldn't do and do it. And I started the mortgage company. And so it's been a wonderful year. I'm so glad that I was brave enough to just move past being afraid and doing it.
That's everything.
It's so awesome.
Good job. That's so inspiring. I love that. I don't know that I would have been as brave, so I think that's fantastic.
Would you say that that's the bravest thing you've done as a mortgage lender?
I think so, because, working with my husband on the real estate business, I kind of had this backbone who, we both went to school and we did our certifications, and, I had someone that if I didn't know something, I can speak to about. But with the mortgage company, I went, and did my course on my own. And so I'm just out here by myself doing this. So I didn't have that backbone to say, how do I do this? Or what is this? Or what is that? So it was definitely a brave move, because although I wasn't by myself because I had his support, I was still kind of by myself.
No, that's good. That's good stuff.
So you've worked in parts of the industry for a long time, yeah?
Yeah, so I got my real estate license back in 2015 or 14.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been, self-employed, so to speak, and out here in the real estate world for a while. But, this is, a whole new world. Mortgages and real estate, although they go hand in hand, they're just two separate, entities.
Mm-hmm.
And it's...
Sorry.
I was going to say, it's not the same. It's not the same.
Yeah.
So it's not very different. And lending, completely different. Yeah.
Exactly.
What do you wish you would have known at the beginning of your career that no one told you? Like, if you were able to give women advice, what would you say to them?
I would say, don't be afraid, don't be afraid. I think sometimes, we fear the unknown, and we do things. And looking back at when I started, right? When I started my mortgage company, there were so many things that I did not know. And honestly, if someone probably would have told me specifically what I needed to do, I don't think I would be as successful as I am today in my mortgage company. Because, when you go through things and you have to learn and you have some tests and some trials, I think it just makes you a better person. And so I don't believe there's something specific as far as maybe a skill or something I should do or shouldn't do that I can look back and say, I wish someone would have told me. But what I would definitely say, I wish someone would have said, is just don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to step out and just do it, whatever it is. Because when you go through some things and you look back and you figure, wow, I made it through that. I learned this, I learned that. And some things you just can't learn if you don't go through the tests and trials of it, right?
Wow, that's way ahead of me. It took me a lot longer to be that brave. It really, and Missy will attest to this, she knows me pretty well, but it wasn't until I talk about this all the time, I reached a certain age that I was like, oh, they haven't eaten me, they're not going to kill me, I can survive anything. It's just
exactly
right. So I admire you for that. That's fantastic.
Thank you.
I'm really curious about something. So
Okay.
we're doing these interviews with people all over the country, right? And one of the things that I'm dying to ask you, okay, why did you choose to start your own mortgage company instead of going and working for another mortgage company? Like, why did you, what was it that made you choose to start your own gig?
When I was at my last company, the company was great. I liked the broker at that moment, at that time. They had, benefits or, products and things that I use. But at the end of the day, and everybody's story is different. I could not take that company and grow it and pass it on to my kids in the future. And I think more so than anything else, I had that in the back of my mind. And so I decided that, I wanted my name on something more than anything else.
I love that so much because I think often women think, oh, I have to go work for somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, I got, I have this, certification, or I have this degree, or I have this whatever, I have this training. So now I have to go work for somebody else. And I love that you were like, no, I don't.
No,
I don't have to go work for someone else. I could do my own thing and make this what I want it to be.
Exactly.
The spirit is strong with that family. I can tell.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great. What's one empowering idea you want to share with other women?
You know what? Don't be afraid to support another woman.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Ooh, say more. Say more. Say more.
Even in your same industry, don't be afraid to tell the woman next to you, you support her, tell her that you're great, tell her that she can do more. I think sometimes women, especially, sometimes we feel as if we shine too much on someone else, it's not going to give us enough shine on ourselves. And so we got to realize, I think, especially one woman to another, that we can, enable somebody else, make them feel great, empower them to be the best that they can be, and still shine ourselves. And so, if I had to give another woman just a word of advice for empowerment, is don't be afraid to, encourage the other woman, even if that woman's in your field. Because guess what? Sometimes I think we think, if I promote her too much, or if I make this person feel too good about themselves, then where is my client? Where's my business going to come from? But right now, you're not getting all the business anyway. So it doesn't matter if we, I can't do every buyer in the state of Florida. Neither can Wells Fargo, Bank of America, none of the big banks. They can't do it as well, right? And so why not empower the next female to do great, to be great, and, to feel great.
Did you have any inspiring women on your journey that inspired you? Did you have any?
No, and I think that's probably why I feel this way. I don't. This mortgages is a male dominant, industry. So I'm a part of the Women's Mortgage Network group, and I love it. I absolutely love it. And just, I just joined the group recently, and honestly, um, I, what I'm saying, I see within that group, right? And I've met some women on the back end of things who has shared some information with me. And I know that they feel the same way because they shared some information with me that I have asked and not been able to get specific answers to when asking my counterparts, my male counterparts. So
Yeah, I think there's a different kind of tone when we're talking woman to woman too, right?
yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and I think, and we've all said it in a lot of the other interviews, there have been men along the way that have gotten us to where we have gone. They've helped and they've aided, but it's just not that kind of bonding, that thing that we really crave in our, I don't know. I wish I had a realtor that was my mentor when I was a realtor first, a woman, and then she's fantastic. And I talk about her all the time, Nancy Beduti. And then I had a lender mentor that brought me in out of real estate, said, you need to do lending and come work for me. And she's passed in the last couple of years, but she was fantastic. And I was really fortunate to have those women. And so I love the message that you're getting because it's just different. We just look at things differently.
I think so, yeah, you build that, we're that nurturer, we have that nurturing, whatever you want to call it, inside of us. And so when you get around other like-minded women who feel the same, I think so much growth can take place.
Yeah. This as an open conversation. I just love it. Is there anything else you want to share about your journey or words of wisdom or ideas that you have that you think the world needs to hear? And don't hold back. Just like, what do we need to hear?
I just think, I love the cohesiveness of one woman to another. I was speaking with a real estate broker the other day, and as I mentioned, I own, my husband and I, more so him than me, own a real estate company. And I was speaking with her, telling her all these great ideas that I thought that she should do, and I wanted to partner with her with some things that I thought that, would be great for her business. And I just want to reiterate that don't be afraid, woman to empower another woman in your industry. It is not going to dim your light at all. And don't be afraid to just step out there and do something that you're afraid to do. If you're afraid to do it, it's probably a good indication that you need to do it. Don't be afraid. And so reach out to people in your industry, no matter who they are, what they look like. I'm not saying that we can't, talk to our males, but as just a female myself, obviously, I would connect, to another female. And so I would just say, just don't be afraid to step out there. Don't be afraid to reach out to someone in your industry and build that bond to do greater things in your community.
I'm wondering, we've talked a lot about negotiation, and you all, in your industry, I'm a life coach, so that's how Liz and I came together. She's like, do you want to put on a really amazing conference? Because you're a coach and you're going to know lots of people. And I'm like, sure, let's do it.
I don't know.
So, yeah. So one of the things I've noticed among all of you that we've talked to is that you all have a different negotiation secret. Like you all have a different way of negotiating. Is there a way, is there a piece of negotiation advice that you would love to share with women?
You know what? Don't be afraid to let the client go. Don't be afraid to let a deal go. I remember this time I had a client who came to me, this is with mortgages, and they had this loan estimate that I couldn't beat. I could not beat it at all, right? And it was it was impossible for me to do the deal. And I said, listen, if you can get this deal over here at this bank, go ahead and take it because I can't beat it. Now, he had already met me. We had been going back and forth. He knew my personality. We had that initial conversation. I think we had some type of bond initially, where he thought, Arlicia was going to be a great person for me to do this business with, right? And so I couldn't beat the deal. There's no way in the world I could beat it, right? I said, go over there and take this deal. He said, okay, well, I'll call you back. 30 minutes later, he called me back and he said, you know what, Arlicia, I'm going to use you. And exactly. And so, my best thing for negotiations, don't be afraid to let a deal go, because guess what? Confidence, honesty, being sure of yourself can sometimes trump even someone taking what may be perceived as a better option with better terms. You ever hear somebody say, you know what, it costs more, but I like them. I just want to use them. It cost me a little bit more, but I like their service. I wanted to work with them. And so don't be afraid to let a deal go when you're negotiating terms, when you're speaking with someone else, because if you know what you're offering is good and that you're offering them the best and you're working with out of integrity and you're being honest with what you're doing, then guess what? If you have to let a deal go, let it go. And a lot of times, more so than not, I've had this situation happen more than once, but this one in specifically I remember, they come back to you because they know that they were dealing with someone who was being honest and integrous.
Yep.
I love that. The confidence in particular, confidence and honesty together. It's such a winning combination. Like
it is.
Go wrong. You cannot go wrong. So for people in Florida who want to work with you, how do they find you?
So you can find me on Instagram. My Instagram handler is Arlicia, the Mortgage Lady. You can find me on Facebook by my first and last name. And then you can reach out to me. My website is www.joneselitelending.com, and that's solutions with an S.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here today. We appreciate it.
Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.